What's going on, guys? It is MurderInc coming at you again with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today I want to talk about the next daily login reward if you have been logging in every single day from the start of this new release of login rewards. So as you can see, day 150 gives you access to the Lordly Legionary champion, and that is what I want to go over today. Take a look at his kit, see where he shines. I'm going to be running him in the clan boss, and I'm going to have him paired with the infamous Minaya. I know lots of people have asked me to cover Minaya in the clan boss since I released her spotlight video many weeks ago, so I'm going to do that today in paired with this new epic champion. Very quickly going over this epic, he's a Bannerlord's epic attack champion, Lordly Legionary. Looks really cool. I really like the animation on his flaming sword. For his A1 we have, and this is probably the key to his kit in my opinion, it attacks one enemy 2 times, places 1 extra hit if the target's under a 50% heal reduction, places 2 extra hits if the target is under a 100% heal reduction. The A2 attacks one enemy, has a 75 up to 100% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed. It will also decrease the target's turn meter by 20% if the decreased speed debuff is placed. For an A3 we have places a 30% reflect damage buff and a 15% continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. Quickly going over Minaya, if you aren't aware of her kit, attacks one enemy, places a 15% continuous heal buff on the ally with lowest health for 2 turns. The A2, which is in my opinion the synergy with this new Lordly Legionary champion, is attacks one enemy, heals his champion and the ally with the lowest HP by 10,000, has a 75 up to 100% chance of placing a 100% heal reduction debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Followed by an A3, heals all allies by 40% of their max health, placing a block debuff for 2 turns on any champion under an increased defense buff. If a champion is fully healed by this skill, it also places a shield buff on them for 2 turns equal to 25% of the champion's HP. Very quickly, going back to Lordly Legionary, I do want to comment that on first look, he definitely looks like a Fire Knight champion, that I will not lie. However, in my opinion, I wouldn't use him on Fire Knight. Not only is he a bad affinity for Fire Knight 20, but I value champions for Fire Knight as far as how well they can take down the first shield in the battle. Now obviously, as soon as you approach the Fire Knight, you will not have a heal reduction buff. You're only getting 2 attacks out of Lordly Legionary. Now yes, he does also provide the reflect damage buff, which is also a gain for that, so I can definitely see some use in early on teams. However, I don't think he's the most ideal Fire Knight champion, especially because of the affinity. So if you are struggling and he is one of your only options, he's definitely a strong champion. Pretty much for any affinity that isn't clashing with his, he's definitely an excellent choice. I think his value significantly decreases since he doesn't offer the multi-hits on the heal reduction. Now if you don't want to use him for that multi-hit and just for the reflect damage, that's definitely a better use for him in my opinion when approaching the Fire Knight boss. Without wasting time, let's get into this awesome transcendent chest. Speed, defense, crit damage, accuracy. Alright, we'll keep it just in case. Let's see what else we get here. Alright, so the first drop was much better. 6 speed, 1 bad stat. 1 bad stat is good enough for me to sell, that's for sure. Alright, so let's jump right into a key here. We are going to be using Alton as leader, followed by Valkyrie. Then we have our lovely Minaya, Dracomorph, and finally the champion of the hour, Lordly Legionary. Let's see what we can do and how this is going to work. I'm going to kind of explain why I want to take him into clan boss and what exactly I'm testing if you haven't figured it out already. Alright, so today we're going to be testing this team in clan boss. I'm going to show the stats of the gear after. As we can see, the speed is slower, so we have to go after the first turn of the clan boss. However, it is going to align. One thing we're really looking at here is how are the stuns going to work? This whole comp is going to basically depend on where I can guide the threat. So that's definitely my goal going forward here. So let's burn the reflect damage here to try to aim all of the threat onto Alton here. I also have Alton going last to further increase his chance of getting stunned each time. Alright, so there he was stunned. Let's start this rotation off. Now you're going to see the interaction with why I picked these champions. So Minaya's heal reduction is going to go on this round. And we're going to get 4 attacks from this champion there. We're going to go straight into a counterattack, and let's hit auto and see how this team does. For those of you who don't know how the extra hit works, outside of the initial 2 hit, every extra hit Lordly does get on the clan boss has a chance to proc War Master. So I'm pretty much taking a deep dive to see what the viability is of this team comp in a situation where mastery damage is key, and see if he can provide increased value. So far so good as far as guiding the threat directly to Alton. It is unfortunate because he is going to miss 1 counterattack turn every single 3-turn cycle of the clan boss, which can definitely be a problem going forward if we are looking at things like attack down. Hopefully it is reliable in this run, so it's a good showcase. As we can see there, we didn't have attack down on around as early as the end of round 7 going into round 8, so not a good sign off the bat. However, there still is that RNG factor that's going to play a role here. So Alton is perfectly still getting stunned, which is nice. Also, as we can see there, a little more of bad RNG where we had Minaya's heal reduction get resisted, which obviously takes value away from Lordly in all of his attacks. However, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Also, one thing to know, when paired with Valk, the reflect damage is going to reflect 0 damage because the shield is absorbing everything, and it has to take away from the health for it to apply to the clan boss. So everything is pretty much working so far. My strategy of making Alton slow and making the rest of the team, including the counterattack, faster than him is guiding the threat to him each turn. So we should get decent results here. So far, the damage per turn and damage per minute isn't looking too terrible. It's all going to come down to how long this team can survive going forward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get back to you when we get to the end screen, and we are going to go over the final damage here. So I will see you then. Alright guys, so we finished the run. I did get a bit unlucky there. Minaya ended up getting resisted a bunch of times on her heal reduction on the boss, so Lordly definitely lost a ton of extra hit turns. But this is pretty promising to see. So we did 30 million damage in 41 rounds is how long we lived. We had Alton doing 5.3 million, Valkyrie at 4 million, Minaya at 4 million, Lordly pulling out 5.3 million, and of course Dracomorph pulling 11.3. Now let's talk about how viable is this strategy going to be. Obviously not everyone has Minaya. She definitely is a great pair with Lordly. But let's think about one champion you can use to your advantage, make Lordly shine. He has 5.3 million damage. Once you see the gear I have on him, it's not that impressive, especially defensive wise, which I did end up losing him early, so we lost value there, on top of Minaya not consistently landing. So probably the most commonly used counterattack is Skull Crusher. Now everyone always says the meme, I can build 30 accuracy and it will still land. Can it be viable if you build accuracy on your Skull Crusher without sacrificing too many stats on your team? Adding Lordly Legionary in there, Skull Crusher definitely has a higher percentage chance of keeping heal reduction on the boss. So the question becomes, is it going to be viable? And will Lordly's damage be enough to boost your clan boss team? That's definitely something to consider when you do receive this champion tomorrow. So now let's go over the gear I used on this champion so you get a better idea. Now one thing to definitely note before I get into it, obviously Skull Crusher has the 50% chance heal reduction instead of Minaya's 100. So Lordly will be missing 1 extra turn in that additional chance of proccing War Master. However, I would highly recommend still taking a look at your team, seeing what you have available to you, and seeing if this is a good option for you going forward. As we can see here, I have Minaya in a Stalwart set since she's a healer, along with the rest of the team, and a Cruel set. Total stats we have 40,000, 2,800 defense, 2,600 attack, 178 speed, 100 crit, 232 crit damage, and 237 accuracy. Accuracy is a bit low, probably why it wasn't landing as consistently. Really quickly to go through and just click on all the gear, because I know people ask me all the time what it is. I'm just going to go through that very quickly. Nothing really special about this gear. Health is a little bit low. Defense is obviously lacking because I chose to go with Stalwart. There's that. Masteries I chose, typical War Master tree, defensive tree for everybody. Moving on to Alton, we have the same thing here, stalwart gear and a speed set. So quickly cycling through all of the gear here. I definitely did aim and focus these champions more on damage than survivability to try to get the most out of the turns that I was going to do with them. So totaling out here, we have 36,000 health, 4,800 defense, 170 speed as we're slower than the counterattack here, 97 crit rate, 247 crit damage, and 270 accuracy. Masteries, once again, it's pretty much the same for everyone. We have the attack tree as well as the defense tree. Next champion we have on our list is in fact Dracomorph. He is using 4-piece stalwart once again, as well as a cruel set. And these are the specific stats for all of the gear he is wearing. Going over the total stats, we have 30,000 health, 3,200 defense, 3,400 attack, 182 speed, 97 crit, 174 crit damage, and 289 accuracy. Once again, the typical offense defense tree on the masteries. Once again, moving on to Valkyrie, we see her in stalwart gear 4-piece and a speed set 2-piece. Going over her stats very quickly. As far as total stats, 40,000 health, 6,000 defense, 172 speed, a little bit higher than Alton, 66 crit rate. Ideally, I want this at 100, 98 crit damage. And once again, the offense defense mastery tree. Now going over the champion of the hour here, I did choose to give him stalwart gear and a cruel set. I'm not really sure if his damage, as far as raw damage goes, adds up to be enough for him to justify using this cruel gear. Ideally, I'd probably want a defensive piece of gear like immortal or a base defense set, something along those lines, even a speed set focusing more on defensive stats going forward. So as we can see here, 34,000 health, 3,200 attack, 2,900 defense, extremely low trying to bring this into Ultra Nightmare. So I think this was definitely a fair test. As far as someone who is almost underqualified to be in Ultra Nightmare right now, I think I definitely focused too much on attack here and not enough on defense to increase his damage overall to really make him shine in this kind of team. So 176 speed, like I said, 98 crit rate, 236 crit damage. For the masteries, once again, offense and defense. Now every champion I used in here was fully booked, so there's that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really want to know what you guys think. Is he going straight to your vault? Let me know. Are you going to try to use him in this setting if you can get your hands on a hero reduction champion? 30 million damage per key isn't huge. I do have pretty decent gear on everyone except for Lordly, so he can definitely shine more if you gear him properly. However, if you are struggling, maybe this champion can be right for you in the clan boss setting. I know as soon as I read his kit a long time ago, I said, this is definitely something I'm going to try with the heal reduction on the boss. I did know about the extra turns proccing War Master, and I said, let me see if I can use this to my advantage. I think the best strategy with this, I did want to showcase this with a Manaya. However, I think the best strategy is going to put Lordly on a really tanky team in full lifesteal, find another source of a heal reduction, and really using that to the advantage. I would say counterattack is almost a must unless you're going to use him in a speed team and guarantee he gets tons of turns all the time. Even ally attack would be awesome. If I can incorporate this into a counterattack ally attack team, I think I can do incredible damage with Lordly. But I did want to kind of show this in a down-to-earth team comp, even though I did use 4 legendaries plus Lordly here. So I think I was pretty fair with the gear I did give Lordly, and the server is going under maintenance, so they're kicking me out of the game. I'm going to wrap this video up. If you like this content, subscribe. Don't forget to turn on that notification bell. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next upload.